Welcome back. Pregame.tv, Steve Fezzik, Teddy Covers, breaking down college basketball action, and we are going to bring a winner, hopefully, to you with a Teddy Cover free play here. Big 12 tournament action, Sprint Center, Kansas City. We have TCU, the overachieving TCU team, catching 1.5 points against the much despised Kansas State team that has been enigmatic, to say the least, up and down all year long. Teddy, take it away.
Sure. Let's talk about TCU. And again, the current line now, as we record this video, plus 1.5. We've already seen Kansas State money. I anticipate we're going to see more Kansas State money between now and tip-off. There's absolutely no urgency to make this wager right now. This is one of those that you want to make probably in the last hour before the game, because the K-State money is going to come.
Public thinks.
The public not moving any of these numbers.
Oh, the
Come
public.
on.
That's true. That's it's certainly not moving it now. But the pros may anticipate what the public may bet, and they may say, "Let me bet it before the public does."
Sure, when it comes down to like a national title game or something like that, that matters. But when you're going to do videos with me, we're going to argue about whether the public. Of course, you're going to agree with me because I'm right and you're right too. The public has no influence on any of these lines. Anyone that's trying to tell you bet against the public is just silly because they
will have an influence next week during the big dance on Thursday night and Friday night of the round one games. Absolutely. Oh, I strongly disagree. Like look at what the George Mason Michigan State opens 3.5, closes 6. They're cutting in line at every sports book to lay 6 on Sparty years ago against that George Mason Final Four team, and George Mason wins outright.
So your argument is going to be one game from 7 years ago.
My argument,
where the line, where the wise guys moved the number up from 3.5 to 6, and the public still liked it.
It wasn't the wise guys; it was all the public. The wise guys liked George Mason. A lot of the wise guys said, "I like George Mason +4," and it was irrelevant. And they just kept betting Sparty. And it's not just last.
How long ago was that? It's like 10 years ago.
It's every Thursday night, Friday. And if you look at your schedule, you should circle down for the big dance. You should circle every Thursday night late game and Friday night late game, and you will see, especially in Vegas, money will come on the chalk on all the favorites on the late games, because not Thursday morning, people are still getting into town, and especially in Vegas, maybe not as much in the offshore world.
Can I talk about TCU and Kansas State?
Give me a winner.
Instead of some game that you remember from 8 years ago or whenever it was. Kansas State, TCU, all right. The Horned Frogs, boy, they got a lot better as this season progressed. And I like teams whose full season power rating numbers do not equate with their current form. And TCU they morphed in February. And I remember, in fact, it was a very specific time. They went to Kansas, all right? They were coming off 2 big wins at home. They went to Kansas. They were down 16 in the second half. The Jayhawks, the crowd was rolling. The Jaguars were hitting shots. And TCU was supposed to lay down there. And they didn't. And they fought back, and they covered the spread, and they made things interesting. And I lost a bet on that game, but I gained a team from that game. TCU's got a pair of senior guards. You have Kyan Anderson, and you have Trey Ziegler. All right, Kansas State, they have 1 senior in their rotation. Advantage, TCU. These two teams met a couple weeks ago. TCU 69-55. So TCU might be 4-14 in conference compared to 8-10 for Kansas State. But they have the confidence, and they didn't just beat this team. They smacked this team around just a couple of weeks ago. Confidence angle goes TCU. I love some of and TCU's got a really strong statistical profile in a handful of areas. They are number 3 in the nation in free throws attempted. And this is something they showed me very clearly over the back half of the season. Those guards penetrate again and again and again. They force the officials to blow whistles because they're generating contracts, so they get to the free throw line. Kansas State, they've averaged, I think, 11 made free throws per game down the stretch. They are not getting to the charity stripe. TCU's also in the top 20 in offensive rebounds and block shots. So they have the interior presence. They get to the glass. They create free throw attempts. They're a good team. They're an undervalued team in this setting. And boy, I love to bet against Bruce Weber in a conference setting. Bruce Weber for Kansas State. Kansas State was great at home this year. They pulled off upset after upset. Okay, it's a 2-hour drive from Manhattan to the Sprint Center. I think it's a 2-hour drive that matters for a team that won a grand total of 1 road game in Big 12 play. I know that Kansas State won on this floor earlier this year against Texas A&M, an impressive win against a mediocre SEC team. I don't think they get win number 2. I say K-State goes home. Give me TCU plus the points. Are we going to make that official?
We are going to make it official. Go ahead and make it official again here.
Sure. Let's make it official. TCU plus 1.5. That's my free play right here on pregame.tv.
Let me ask you, we can get a better line of post?
Yes.
But wait a minute, now, if the public doesn't bet, and the pros probably going to be on TCU, how are we going to get a better line? Who's going to?
I don't think the pros are going to be on TCU.
TCU is flying under the radar even for the pros.
TCU has made no noise whatsoever when it comes to getting on bettors' radar screens, getting on wise guys' radar screens. They're very, very quiet.
And even the pros have to notice the storm the court, wins that they had against Kansas State, against Kansas, and of course against Iowa State, and all the publicity that got. It impacts even the pros when they look at that and say, surely they can. All they have to do is win the game, and they're basically right in their home state. So I think we're going to get 2 if we win.
I think we'll get 2.5.
Maybe so. So very good. We're going to take a short break. We're going to come back, and we're going to be breaking down one NBA game, Golden State, the Splash Brothers. How are they going to do Wednesday night here against the Detroit Pistons? That will be my free pick. Stay with us. Pregame.tv.